Well, hello, gentle followers, and welcome once again to the Rage Select podcast. Here on Rage Select, I am Jeff, and I'm reaching out into the dusty void. Who is going to join me today? Whom? I guess.
It is I.
Oh, Satan? Satan?
I've been a little sick lately. I've been a little under the weather. It's Jason.
Okay.
I answer to Satan on occasion, so.
Actually, you were just posting something on Facebook about your legendary I cursed kids in high school story, right?
Yep. Okay. We should talk about that here. Now, the story that I told before, right, was
maybe give... Oh, yeah. Are you going to give the short wrap-up version of that?
Just the quick one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was competing in UIL, and that was in the competition that I was in. You read a short story, and you're judged on your delivery. I was in the finals. Mm-hmm. I was reading Salem's Lot. It was a really freaky scene. Mm-hmm. One of the other kids, this weird kid who was competing against me, I'd known him for a while. He was an odd guy. He gets up to perform. He starts speaking in tongues.
Right.
He freaks the fuck out. And later he said, I don't remember what happened, but Jason really scared me. So, highlight of my life, right? I mean, I know it's like I'm married to a beautiful woman, I have a TV show and everything, but really it's all been downhill from there.
From the summoning the devil to speak through this kid at a school UIL event. That was really the best part.
No greater accolades, Jeff. None whatsoever. I feel like I still owe Satan at least a high five.
Is that next season on Hacking the System where you guys are hacking religion, where you're hacking? It's like, all right, now if you want to, I want to see Brian Brushwood come out and be like, all right, now I know that summoning Satan is a hard thing, but we're going to show you today how to do it with a battery and a napkin from a Wendy's. Boom.
We did have. I can't really tell you exactly what we wanted to do in case it ever gets the green light, but it got something kind of like that got shot down pretty quickly.
Anyway,
but So later during the contest, these adults came up to me, a couple of them. Some were together, some of them were of their own volition by themselves, asking me if I had used black magic to cast a spell on that poor kid.
And just like Ghostbusters, you said yes, right?
Well, I thought they were kidding. I just laughed. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Oh, you guys are serious.
I like, okay, so that like, just with a little creative difference, that one little thing of the story. They came up to me, they asked if I used black magic, and I laughed. So it's like, Jason, did you use black magic with that kid? And you're like,
I wish I had been composed enough as a 16-year-old me to just go, yes, and you will do well not to cross me. But so, yeah, anyway, this town is literally, okay, so in the news, there's a town called Kermit, Texas, right?
That's ridiculous.
Where this kid, this kid was suspended recently. He's like 9 years old or something like that for threatening to use the One Ring on a classmate.
What?
Like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings, right?
What the One Ring only does, it only turns you invisible. How are you going to use the one? Come on, people, get your head out of your ass. This isn't even logical. What are you going to use the One Ring on somebody else to do? Exactly.
The school suspends this kid. And as things would have it, if you're going to talk about backwards piece of shit hillbilly moron motherfuckers, the town where I was accused of witchcraft is pretty much within walking distance from this town where this kid was suspended for threatening to use the powers of the Nazgul or whatever.
You know what we should do? Oh, God. I mean, sometimes when I hear about shit like this and I know that's this close, sometimes I wish that we had a lot of money to do shit where it's like, say, you and me and like Grant and Aaron and maybe Allison, maybe something, we'll go out, we'll get full Nazgul costumes, we'll rent a bunch of horses, and then we'll just come riding down Main Street in this town, hissing at people and get this kid, and then we'll like take him to, I don't know, Showbiz or Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, my God. That would be the best viral video ever of us riding around in Nazgul cloaks going, Frodo Baggins.
Yeah, just completely freaking out this entire town. It'd be like the Make-A-Wish Foundation for really sadistic kids who are just like, you know what, I want to see my parents suffer. Like, oh.
Yeah. Well, this is also there's all the smattering of these small towns out in West Texas, like Children of the Corn. Only there's no corn.
Right.
So there's this town that I was accused in, Andrews. There's there's Kermit, Texas, and then there's the town I grew up in, where they actually would at one point bless the goalposts before games, and also one of the churches went out to like some burning bush ceremony out in the middle of the fields.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I have money, I'm going to build a giant fucking obsidian Cthulhu and put it right in the middle of town. It'll be the biggest goddamn thing in town.
We could just go, we'll buy a blimp and we'll just paint a giant pentagram on the side of it, and then we'll just lazily go around the downtown just in circles, right? And like once or twice a day we could just blast a little Slayer down their way until they're so inured by it that they don't care if some kid's like, I want to use the One Ring, but then I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not, but you had that story. I don't know if this shit's an urban legend. I should probably pull up Snopes about some kid who got suspended because he made his hand into a gun and went bang bang at some other kid. You're just like,
oh right, I believe it.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. If I were in school now in this kind of atmosphere, this repressive, fascist, let's show our kids how to be fucking food people to turn into Soylent when they're 18 years old,
right?
Mindless, not making any choices, not offending anyone, just feeble little gelatinous balls of goo, soft-headed morons. Yeah, let's all shape them to be like that. If I were in that school system right now, they would have thrown me in fucking Guantanamo, dude.
You know what? Actually, having you listening to and may I just say, Jason, it's so nice to have. There's been a while since you've had a rant going on over here, so I'm glad that we had this news story to bring it up. But I just had so I know that Allison's been like looking at new projects, and I just got the perfect idea in just talking about this story. What we need to do, or what she needs to do, is start a hardcore anti-establishment punk rock band for 7-year-olds, like aimed directly square at those, like teach them how to like read and write and stuff, Sesame Street style, but also teach them how to read and write with like the Sex Pistols,
Yeah, like propaganda kids bop.
Exactly. And then once the band is ready, then that band can go and wherever they have those other children's bands, what are the Wiggles or the Wuggles or the Muggles or whatever the fuck they are, you can just go like, run those guys off the road and beat them up punk rock style. And yeah. I've been listening to a lot of History of the Mongol Hordes recently. So. I want a Mongol Horde punk rock band. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and what do we say, kids? Fuck the man. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I mean, because punk rock songs are usually less than 90 seconds long, and kids don't have any attention span anyway. And punk rockers wear bright colors sometimes. Sometimes I guess they wear just black. But I like this idea. And then we could branch out into like kids like black metal bands. We get some guys over from. Where's the black metal? It's in like Sweden or something like that.
Yeah,
and they paint their
corpse
faces.
Paint.
Yeah, the kids will be all into the corpse paint. We could have like a fair, and we could paint all the kids up like they're in Norwegian black metal bands.
Everybody gets a claymore.
Yeah, how you going to regulate that shit now? No, you're not making a gun with your hand. I'm carrying a sword made for a child. What?
Yes.
Oh, it's good to be a role model in this day and age. Well, hey, late title card. Welcome to the Rage Select podcast, if I didn't already say that. And in addition to talking about the witchcraft that you have cast on other people, Jason, there is a thing that happened today that I'm assuming, have you called the Viagra hotline yet to figure out how to get rid of the whole erection thing that when it lasts for more than 3 hours? Or I don't know.
Come April, I'm going to be freaking on my TV a little bit. Yeah.
I would be surprised if you were up humping your monitor because was a trailer for Daredevil, which as far as I can understand, right, is like your favorite comic dude of all time or whatnot. I don't know. Maybe
No.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Okay. I like Daredevil. I like Daredevil a lot. Spidey's my favorite, though. And then Iron Fist, like,
oh yeah,
a close second. But Iron Fist is going to be doing like a Daredevil crossover at some point. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch that Daredevil trailer, which comes on in April. I'm going to watch that Daredevil trailer like frame by frame by frame. Like, ooh, could that be Luke Cage? Who's that? Oh my God. But yeah, it looked brutal and dark and ugly.
Yeah, it looked very gritty. And I don't know. I'm wondering if because you saw really briefly in there at the end him with the costume on, but I don't know if that was like a prototype costume, if they're going to go full on Ben Affleck, full on skin tight red leather kind of stuff, or if
I think they are.
Okay.
That actually looks a lot like the costume in the Hulk, Thor, Daredevil TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot like that, which is distressing. But I think they can make it work. But from what I understand, yes, by the end of the first season, I think they are going to get the red costume.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope we see some of the yellow costume. I don't know how they're going to do that shit, but I kind of want to see it.
That's a really stupid. I mean, hey, all props to Matt Murdock and shit, but like that's a dumb looking costume. Or no, it looks fine in the comics, but if you were to translate it if you were to just do it 1-to-1 in real life, it would look as dumb as like the blue and yellow Wolverine costume would if you tried to make it a real life thing.
I still hold out hope that the blue and yellow Wolverine will work.
Dude, come on, man. That shit's not going to work.
I know, but I just really want it to.
So here's a question that didn't come into us via email. If you could pick one ridiculous superhero costume to see it just directly translated into an actual costume, just to point and laugh at it. I mean, like, it's going to look exactly 1-to-1 like it does in the comics, but it's going to be super ridiculous looking in real life. What do you think?
Galactus
with the big... No, yeah. Dude, that guy, he's like Galactus is like an envoy of Damocles at this point. Have you seen that hat?
I know. It's like he is pimping with that hat. I just want a Galactus hat. I want Galactus hats to get like en vogue. And I think Kirby would be proud. I think putting him in a movie is the only way to do it. Have that giant purple hat. God, he's like, 120 feet tall and purple?
Oh, my God, I love it.
Fuck yeah, I want to see that.
I love the idea that you're going on a business interview and you're like, oh, my God, I almost forgot my Galactus helmet. Shit.
Yeah.
They're not going to take me seriously for this Wall Street job if I'm not wearing this giant purple dong on my head. God,
I got to get Allison to make me one of those. I'm just going to wear it out to the bar.
Grant had that one on Halloween where he was Dad Lactus that was... it was obviously he put it together really quickly, but it didn't look that bad. I mean,
it didn't look that bad, but I want something like sturdy, something that could take a hit, because I'm going to be walking up to the bar. I thirst.
Well, you know that if you make a real Galactus hat, you're going to have to put a gyroscope in it, or else your neck is going to break the first time you try to put on something.
That may be true.
You're going to have somebody like following around behind you with a fishing pole to hold up the Galactus hat.
That's a very valid point, sir. Maybe that's what the fins on the side are for. It's kind of like how whenever people are tightrope walking and they've got that long pole to balance with.
Okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what the fins on the side are.
Dude, look, if they could make Thanos look even remotely decent, I think you could make Galactus. I mean, anything is better than the dumb fucking fart cloud from the second Fantastic Four movie. That's not Galactus.
They don't even have to retcon that. They can just be like, that can be in the new Fantastic Four movie. Or, if they were to do like a part 3 with that other cast, if they were to do a part 3, they can you imagine the trailer? They're like, oh my God, when Galactus came, that wasn't him. Mm-hmm. That was just his fart. And then Galactus actually appears.
It's a giant cosmic flatulence that's destroying planets.
Yeah.
I love it. Did you, by the way, I mean, I don't think you've been on the show since it came out. What did you think of that new Fantastic Four trailer?
It looked pretty good, actually. I'm intrigued. It looked better than I thought it was going to be because all of the early buzz on this, and a lot of it was hearsay and rumor, but all of the early buzz was that this was just going to be garbage dick.
Yeah.
And that Dr. Doom was a blogger, and that might still be the case. And if that's the case, I'm going to set some shit on fire.
Wait,
Flame on.
Is he just? He's just sitting in his mom's basement with his homemade Doom cape on, writing shitty comments on the Fantastic Four's blog. Is that what we're saying Dr. Doom is for a modern era? I mean, I know you got to update your characters for a new age, but like, seriously. I mean, what is he? Oh my God, Jason! What if he runs a blog that's at www.latveria.com and he keeps saying that he's like the king of Latveria and that it's his website?
There is actually no physical country. I am the king of this domain.
Right? He's got Doom bots, and they're just for spam, obviously.
They're
kicking
bots?
people off the forums. Yeah. God damn, I could be Dr. Doom. They should cast me in that movie as Dr. Doom.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'm going to be pissed. You can make a good or a good Fantastic Four movie. It looks like they're going kind of the ultimate FF line, so it could be good. I mean, it looks like a dark sci-fi movie, which is cool. Not what I'm looking for out of the Fantastic Four, but I don't know. It looks like an interesting movie just from that trailer.
I thought it was really. I just thought it was really generic. Like it didn't. I mean, the thing is that I guess they were. The problem that you get into with a lot of the trailers that are or teasers for reboots and stuff, it was like the first Spider-Man trailer. It's like, yeah, I already know how he becomes Spider-Man, and I already know how the Fantastic
Right.
Four. Like, if you could just skip until after they've got the powers instead of spending 20 minutes. Like, oh my God, I could stretch now, and ooh, I could catch on fire. Yeah. I know you're the Fantastic Four. Whatever, fucking.
Be fantastic. Go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Dr. Doom as a blogger might be better than the. In that old Fantastic Four, when all of his skin came off and he was a metal man, the cosmic radiation made him into a metal man or something. Like,
Yeah, that was dumb.
I don't know. That was the worst part of that movie. I still maintain that Fantastic Four movie really is not as bad as people tend to make it out.
Oh
to
no,
be.
it's not good, but
Yeah.
it's not the atrocity that say Ghost Rider was.
Oh God, Ghost Rider. Did you see the second Ghost Rider?
No.
Okay, I'm really curious to know if the second. I think Cargill one day, like kind of like the fourth or fifth time that I met him, I was drunk, and he kind of got me in a corner and started haranguing me about telling me how I really need to see that other Ghost Rider movie, and I was like, I don't think that's true, sir, but I don't know you very well, so it could be. But I
Yeah. Sometimes, he generally has similar taste to me when it comes to films. But sometimes he foists one on me, and I'm like, oh my God, he has lost his goddamn mind.
It seems like he legitimately enjoys certain bad movies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Certain types of like crappy movies.
Yeah, he, a year ago, for his birthday, a year and a half ago, he showed Skate Town, USA to a captive audience.
What the fuck is that?
It's a movie set at a roller rink in the late 70s. Part of that, like, part of the roller skate movie craze of the late 70s. Most people listening to this won't realize that was a thing, but it was a thing, and we should never, ever go back there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that if you were going to watch something, I mean, what, Xanadu? Maybe Roller Babies? I don't, or Solar Babies?
Solar Babies. Solar Babies was a little later. But yeah, Skate Town, USA had Patrick Swayze in it and Scott Baio, and yeah.
Wait, did it have Patrick Swayze and Scott Baio roller skating in it?
Yes, it did.
Okay, how?
Yes, it did.
Are you sure that when you watched it, you weren't just like 2 beers shy of it being the greatest movie you've ever seen? Because it sounds like, in the right frame of mind, that could be either Guantanamo Bay torture or, oh my God, I have to show everybody that I know this movie right now.
It was. I'll be honest. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Because it was like watching an hour and a half long fail video
Okay.
on YouTube. Because I love fail videos, seeing people falling down and getting the shit knocked out of them and making an ass out of themselves. That's what this was, this whole thing. There's a roller disco number in it. And you can find this on YouTube. You can find like the trailer and everything on YouTube.
Nice.
You got to see it, guys. Skate Town, USA. Look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, Cargill made us watch the whole fucking thing.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm trying to think of anything that happened to me worth talking about before we jump into the news. I watched the first season of the Korra Avatar thing.
Still haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it than it was good, and I'm going to watch all the rest of them. I'll get back to people. How did we see? We went out on Sunday to the most metal karaoke room. I'm kind of surprised that place doesn't have a plaque on it that's dedicated to like you and Allison. I mean, like, guys, this is like your normal karaoke room, right? The long seat, the terrible rooms, the long seats where nobody could talk to each other, and then like a table in the middle, karaoke on one side. But the whole place was built like it was a black metal cathedral.
Yeah,
giant, not swastika, pentagram bird onto the floor.
Yeah, pentagram on the floor, a goat's head in a glass case, stained glass windows with inverted crosses. Mm-hmm. It just makes me feel all warm and tingly inside.
Yeah, and but so we went over there, and then this is the Allison birthday week, right? I guess when this comes out, it'll be kind of ending. Has she done anything else this week? Did she?
No. She obliterated herself Sunday, and so it was like, okay, Monday and Tuesday, I'm just going to spend that entire time in bed, the whole damn time.
Okay. Tell me that she's going to spend the entire time in bed that you guys have been playing the Grim Fandango reboot.
No, we haven't played it at all yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, well,
Allison's been back on her vampire shift, and she wants me to play it up until the point where you guys played it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do that. But I've been playing, fucking Far Cry 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you like that?
I've been putting in a little bit each night. Been putting in a little bit of time, and there are like acts of terrorism and fascist dictators and fucking gunshots going off everywhere on that entire game. But I think what players of Far Cry 4 really need to worry about are the goddamned eagles.
Yeah, they do tend to come out of nowhere. I mean, even more than the honey badgers, they just don't give a fuck. They'll just come at you.
Yeah, those honey badgers, those are serious. But those eagles, it's just like suddenly they're all up in your face and people screaming, "Eagles, oh God!" and firing up into the sky. And I'm just like, you guys are on your own. I'm out of here.
Well,
no part of that.
I think it's funny because the first time that you run into that situation in Far Cry 4, you're like, dude, don't be. You guys are pussies. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because you're just wandering around. You're fighting all these tanks and paramilitary, and here's a jeep, and you're blowing stuff up, and then you see like two villagers, and they're like, eagle! And they're like firing off fully automatic guns up in the air, wild, and you're just like, you guys are. What are you doing? And oh my God! Get off me! Get off me! Get off me, eagle! Like,
yeah. And it's just, I've learned now to listen when people start screaming, it's like, oh shit, something's going on. Run. Find the nearest car, jack it, get the hell out of there.
There was not enough sharks in that game. I swear to God. Far Cry
I haven't
3,
run into any sharks yet.
I don't think there are any sharks.
There's the devilfish or whatever.
Yeah.
Those things are little bastards, but they're not sharks.
No. Well, yeah, Far Cry 4 is cool. I mean, I think that we didn't go into that much detail, but if there was, if we had, some websites do that whole like best new character of 2014. Pagan Man, you only see him a little bit in that game, but goddamn, that guy is rad. He is totally rad.
He's a pretty badass villain. That Far Cry 4 keeps up their streak of creating really memorable characters.
Mm-hmm. I can't. I really want to. How far through the game are you?
I've been doing a lot of side mission stuff, so not much at all. Well, it says 25%, but a lot of that is because I've just been getting like all of the loot chests and the demon masks and the propaganda posters and stuff like that.
Oh goddamn! You'll be playing that game forever. I think I beat that game at like 56% completion or something.
Yeah. Well, it's after a while I'm like, okay, I'm going to be playing this forever, so I'm kind of starting to get to the point where it's like, all right, let's just unlock all the towers.
Right.
And the outposts, and then the do the mission stuff.
Yeah. I'm interested because I think that the story in Far Cry 4 actually, even more than Far Cry 3, does a lot of really interesting things by the time that you get to the end. There's a couple of you might have seen the first one, but there's a couple of different choice moments in the game, which are not good or evil, but it's like you just have to make a choice between this guy and this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But where that stuff ends up leading towards the end of the game is really interesting. But anyway, we got to get going over to news, or we're going to be doing this forever. So let's see. We've got a little bit of news this week, not a whole hell of a lot, mostly because Joystick shut down. And fuck other websites, man. Like
I know.
God damn, I hate other websites. I mean, not Rage Select, obviously, but like you go to a gaming news website. Like I tried going to Kotaku. Fuck Kotaku, man. Like, and I'm sorry, I know people who work for Kotaku, and like, I'm sure that Kotaku would be great, but if there was a drop-down menu at the top of Kotaku that said, I don't care about Legos, movie trailers, some bullshit about grandmas watching GTA, give me fucking gaming news, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be great. It's just that like half of what's on the front of their page is just clickbait asshole bullshit.
Oh yeah, here's 48 Disney princesses dressed up like popular video game characters.
Yay! That's not what I need for a podcast. So where I pulled all my stories this week from Game Informer. That's how far I had to go down to get to some just straight up like news. But I don't know if you heard about this. And I don't know if I even know anybody who works there anymore, but Sony Online Entertainment, SOE, the folks, and one of their studios is based here in Austin that did DC Universe Online, PlanetSide 2, and EverQuest Next, got sold out from Sony to Columbus Nova, an investment firm in New York. And it's interesting because this means that they're being renamed to Daybreak Game Company, and it means that that some of these games are going to be available for the Xbox as well now. So like previously, because Sony Online was Sony Online, right? Like DC Universe, I don't think was on the Xbox 360 or Xbox One or whatever. But now that they're owned by an independent organization, some of that stuff is going to be able to go
right
to other platforms. Which I wouldn't be surprised if you heard if EverQuest Next makes it all the way through and comes out. If that comes out for pretty much everything instead of just Sony and PlayStation PC platforms. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I think it's really nice because this story could very well have been Sony Online Entertainment closed its doors today and everybody got fired and everything that they were doing got shut down. And that's the way that we normally see this shit happen.
Yeah, exactly. All sensationalized.
Yeah. So I don't know. When was the last time? I mean, Jason, when was the last time you played an SOE game? DC, did you play? I don't think you played PlanetSide 2. I'm pretty sure I know that.
No, didn't
DC,
play PlanetSide 2. Didn't
DC
play
Online?
DC.
Okay.
No. I'm trying to think.
EverQuest 2?
Nope.
EverQuest 1?
Nope.
Star Wars Galaxies?
Star Wars Galaxies was the last one I played.
Okay. Well, shit, this news means absolutely nothing to you.
Yeah. Did EverQuest Next ever come out?
No, I think it's still
in development.
I think it's still in development.
Okay. I had no idea.
Oh, and John Smedley is still helming up Daybreak, the newly rechristened Daybreak Game Company. So that's, I mean, he's been at the helm of SOE for a long, long time. But yeah, I mean, it seems like, I don't know. Like I said, good that it's happened. I'm interested to know really how many of our listeners have any kind of stake in any of this stuff, because I don't know anybody who plays any of these games. DC, PlanetSide 2, or Big EverQuest. I mean, I've known some people, like I knew a few people back in the old days who played EverQuest 2 a lot, but yeah, I don't
know. My friends played a lot of EverQuest, like an absurd amount, but I don't think they ever got into EverQuest 2. I don't know of anyone in my circle of friends who played EverQuest 2 at all, or who currently plays any of those games. But I'm sure some of our listeners do. So yeah, sound off. Let us know. I mean, is this something that bothers you or whatever? I mean, what kind of audience do these games have right now?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like up until now that a lot of these games have focused on, I guess, slightly like more hardcore old school MMO people, as opposed to people who are into the streamlined WoW MMO experience. Casuals versus quotey fingers real gamers. I don't know, but I don't know. The only thing that I hope that this means is that what I've seen so far of EverQuest Next looks pretty cool. Like, it's pretty. I like the idea of the whole voxel building player thing. I think it looks pretty cool, so I think it'd be a shame if that game never came out, because I'd be interested to take a look at it.
I'm intrigued. I'm curious. From what little I've seen of it, I was like, oh, that actually looks kind of cool.
Yep. All right. Well, next up, it's time for my favorite thing, Jason, Metal Gear news.
Oh, boy.
Actually, it's Metal Gear Rising news. Aw. Actually, it's not Metal Gear Rising news. So apparently there was at a Taipei game show, they were doing one of these things where they were showing on a PlayStation event that whole montage of stuff, right? You know, when they do their little thing and they're just showing a few seconds of every game. And in the middle of this montage, for just a second, there was a black screen and the number 2 that looked like it was in the font of Metal Gear Rising.
Now, okay. All of the subtitles, tell me,
Right.
what is Metal Gear Rising?
Rising is the one with Raiden where you do the ninja /slash where you're cutting the Metal Gears up and stuff. Right.
Okay.
The one that I was all, all internet shitty about for a little while. And I kind of made my peace with it. But so you saw this and there was all this like, oh, it's Metal Gear Rising 2. And then Kojima and company came out and said, nope, that is not the case. So I'm not entirely sure whoever was making this sizzle reel why they would do something as stupid as to put the shot is of a black screen with the number 2 coming down. That's all it is. So in one of those reels where you normally see at a game show, they don't waste any time with things that aren't important. So I wonder what that 2 is for. It looks like, if I'm looking at the footage, it looks like it's in between The Order and Drive Club, neither of which I guess Drive Club is out, but surely they could be announcing Drive Club 2. So who the fuck, where is that 2? What does it mean?
I'm going to start trolling you so hard. I'm just going to start setting up websites using that font. You're like, this is about a timeshare condo in Tampa Bay. What is it? But just use that font in everything, sending it to you in emails, little promotional material, like a poster that just has font that just says Jeff in the Metal Gear font. Everything's going to be in the Metal Gear font. So what does it mean? This means something.
Yeah, I think that you've counted too much on my ability to give a shit about the Metal Gear Rising franchise. Even when I saw that this might, I think that I actually, a few days ago, something ran across my feed, or it was a sponsored thing, or I was looking at a website and it was like, Metal Gear Rising 2, it's coming out. And I was just like, all right, I'll play it, I guess, whatever. But things that have the number 2 in them that I will play include Dark Souls 2, which just won't die. I want it to die, Jason. I want it to be done.
What is Dark Souls 1?
Yeah. Dark Souls?
Oh, Dark Souls. I thought you said Doxels. And I'm like, what is Doxels? I don't know.
I was putting a little European spin on it, I was putting the dramatic flair for an audience.
Okay. Don't do that. Okay, so what about Dark Souls 2? News? What?
Okay.
Just get it.
All right.
Fuck, do it. Say it.
Okay, so they're putting out the PS4 and the Xbox One version in April, right? But apparently part of that is the subtitle of Dark Souls 2 is Scholar of the First Sin, I believe. Yeah, that's it, right? And they're doing a thing where they're also they're refining a whole bunch of the item descriptions so that it means the lore is better, and they're adding a new character called the Scholar of the First Sin, or called the Scholar. And apparently there was a patch on the PC that just did all this, right? So now there's a new character in the game, there's a bunch of new item descriptions, there's some new dialogue in places, and all this shit just happened like yesterday. I'm like, oh, God damn it, because I was just getting ready to go back into Dark Souls 2 with John for our patrons to do the DLC, but now I can't keep playing this game over and over again.
That was my next question. What does this mean to you, Jeff?
It means I gotta go back and play this game all over again, and I already was playing it all over again to get ready to play it over again, and now I've got to play it. It says 204 hours on Steam that I put into the Steam version of Dark Souls 2. I know that I put at least 40 to 50 hours into the console version before the PC version came out.
You're a grown-ass man. You don't have to do anything but pay taxes and die.
No. I got like 2 video game obsessions, and this is one of them. And the other one has been letting me down recently. So
what's the other one?
Metal Gear.
Oh, it's Metal Gear. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I'm gonna do this patch. We're gonna figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video where I look at some of the major things or go talk to this big monster asshole that's the new guy in the game. I don't know. I'm interested because we got so deep into the lore of this game that if they've changed it all around and now things are different, I really want to know what that means.
Everything Jeff knows is a lie.
Well, you have to imagine, Jason, right, that Dark Souls 2, the story of Dark Souls 2, you find the story by reading the description of every item in the entire game, right?
Yeah.
It gives you a feel of the world. If they've changed the description of every item in the entire game, it means I got to go back to the beginning and start the fuck over. All right. Enough of that. Next up, a little something for you, I guess. Did you ever play the Condemned franchise?
No, just a tiny bit, but not really.
Okay. Well, it always seemed to be like a game that would be right up your alley, what with the rampant hobo punching and then bear punching.
I know, that sounds like they made it for me.
Right. Like it was the I don't know, maybe one of these days we could do like a secret playthrough of Condemned or something. We're just hobo punching. But apparently, let's see, Jace Hall, one of the creators of Condemned, went on Facebook and started asking people if they'd like to see a new Condemned game. And apparently he's not really looking to make it himself, but he's looking at taking his ideas and then outsourcing them to some kind of indie development studio to do a new Condemned indie game, which, I don't know, that sounds cool. Like, we don't get that many first-person bear punching games, and I think that any new bear punching games would probably be good for mankind. I mean, that's what gaming has really been missing for a long time now, is
bear punching. Yes.
Bear punching. Like, especially if they model it to the point where you can like kick the bear in the balls, and that like just makes the bear like a 50-50 chance of either making the bear more angry or making the bear cartoonishly grab its crotch and go, "Ooh," fall over.
I'm behind this. I think there needs to be a whole bear punching Condemned expansion.
Maybe this could just be an iPhone game. Maybe we should make this iPhone game. Maybe it could just be it could be called Ball Puncher, right? It'll be like as simple as Five Nights at Freddy's, but you just tap the screen to punch things in the balls, and then they each have an individual. Ooh, or what if we made a new Punch Out that was all concentrated on your Little Mac's special attack is no longer the uppercut. It's just bam, right in the crotch.
Just straight right in the giblets.
I don't know. I'm interested in seeing a new Condemned game, so I hope that they make it. I haven't ever actually played either of the other two outside of very, very briefly, but I'm interested, so we'll see. In slightly less gaming-related news, I don't know if you saw this, but the FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler apparently is proposing a reclassification of the Internet as a utility, thus restoring the idea of net neutrality and blocking people from being able to get around that horse shit because you can't charge people more for better water and less for shitty water. That shit's just against the law. So not much to say outside of this, outside of like, great, do it. Finally.
Yeah, I need to read more about that. That could be something. There could be something really horrible lurking there that I'm not aware of, or the implications or potential implications. But if we can get away from the corporations, it's throttling and giving certain websites more attention, and where the 1% has the best connection and everything. Great. Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
Yep. Absolutely. Especially because, like, you know what I feel? It's like I could feel the fucking getting closer and closer to me. So what it's going to happen, Jason, is the day that Google Fiber becomes available in my neighborhood, thus allowing me to move the entirety of the server code of Rage Select onto a server and stop having to pay internet hosting costs every month. That will be the day that they pass the bill where, because I don't pay Google 4 times as much, that my internet bandwidth gets all throttled and Rage Select runs like ballsack, right? Those two items are going to happen on the exact same day. I can feel it.
God.
Or no, it'll be just enough time for me to get the server set up, to work out all the kinks and make sure everything's great. So I'm like living in this future where I'm just hosting my own website from my apartment and it's got unlimited bandwidth. And then 2 days later, as soon as that gets done, bam, it'll just slow down. People will be like, I can't even get to it anymore. And I'll be like, motherfucker. And then I'll have to go cast my One Ring of Power on like Congress or something, and I'll get arrested, or I don't. All right, so let's see. Check this shit out. You remember we had a story a while back where when Far Cry 4 came out, do you remember Ubisoft? There was a huge number of fraudulent Far Cry 4 keys that got out into the world, right?
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Where like people paid with a stolen credit card, they got a bunch of keys, and then they third parties sold those keys to other people, and then Ubisoft shut those keys down because they were like, well, they're all not legit, and even though people had paid for them, they essentially then they got fucked by it, right? Well, it turns out that Ubisoft has taken a look at that situation, and even though it's when did Far Cry come out? November? So what is that? What was it, 2-3 months later? They've reactivated all of the keys for people that activated those keys and started playing the game, essentially, right? So they looked at the situation. They said, if you're a consumer who inadvertently bought one of these fraudulent keys and you activated it, you loaded Far Cry up, it's now active yet again. Now, any of the keys that didn't get activated are still shut down, but they're at least kind of letting people who thought that they legitimately purchased it get access to the game.
That's an interesting way to do it. That's not a totally diabolical corporate bullshit move.
I think it kind of is, because when you think about it, you go, well, they've already made the money. Oh. So, like, who gives a fuck at this point? Like, Far Cry 4, it's like $2 on Steam now, right? Because it's been out for 2 months, and we all know that video games go bad faster than, I don't know, even disgusting metaphor for how things go bad really quickly.
Diarrhea.
Than diarrhea on the street. That's not a very good metaphor, because it assumes that in the first month you would be interested in diarrhea on the street. But
there's a market for it.
For diarrhea on the street?
Yeah, I know a guy. I've got a guy.
You got a guy who's willing to pay good money for poop on the road?
And a guy who can provide.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I could provide. Anybody can provide.
I don't need to know about your bowel movements, Jeff.
Okay.
This is
all
a
right.
podcast. Come on. The classiest website on the internet. You're talking about how runny your stool is?
Iowa did not get into specifics. I did not get into specifics. But I'll tell you what is specific, and what's a much better story than that last one that we had is, hey, guess what? Mortal Kombat X got rated in Australia, so it's going to be able to come out, and Australians are going to be able to play it.
Oh,
so
that means they fucked it up, because that's if there is one law to the natural world, it's that Mortal Kombat should not be released in Australia.
In Australia?
Yeah. Well, and if they are, then the developers did something wrong.
No, see, because here's the thing, is that so like a year ago or something, they actually instituted a new rating that was R18+, and that's what Mortal Kombat X is rated. It's not rated E for everyone in Australia. It's rated R18+, restricted.
Okay.
And it says, high-impact violence, blood and gore, online interactivity, and, they got a little check thing here. Let's see. Nudity, very mild impact. Themes, mild impact. Language, moderate, and violence, high impact. So
I like it.
I don't know. Violence is cranked up about as high as it'll go.
Okay.
Speaking of violence, Rockstar put out an earnings report. Just I like to look at this stuff because I feel like it's worth talking about the titanic juggernaut that is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
So apparently, as of December 31st, 2014, actually, you know what? I think I already read this story, but I might read it again. Over 45 million copies of the game have shipped to retail. Of those, 10 million have been shipped for the Xbox One and PS4. So, this kind of puts into perspective that whole we're gonna hit Rockstar right where it hurts and ban this game in Australia. You go, if you sold 45 million copies at $60 a pop, that's $2.7 billion. And I mean, that's obviously a little high, but like Rockstar, it's not like they're over there, getting all bent out of shape over the fact that
Rockstar's next move is to buy Australia.
That's right.
And turn it into like an actual Liberty City.
Yeah. And you know what? The craziest thing about this is that's 45 billion copies shipped, and the game isn't even out on PC yet. they still have a PC release, which obviously is lower. It's going to be lower than the console sales traditionally, if the numbers that I see normally are to be believed. But still, holy fuck, man. This thing's been out for, what, an entire year now?
Yeah.
Plus?
Well,
right?
I mean,
no.
I'm probably going to buy it relatively soon. So again, for the new console, so I can experience that first person deliciousness that you keep telling me about. And also, have heists launched yet?
I don't know. I don't go online. I mean, I pulled it up so we could do a video on it, and I really wanted to play more of it, but Deadlight came out, so I got to play that. Dark Souls 2, I got to play that. Like I'd love to live in a world. I'd love to live in a world, Jason, where I had infinite amount of time to be able to just play Grand Theft Auto 5 whenever I want to. But that's not the world that we live in. God damn it!
Oh, your life is so hard.
It really is. It's super hard. Let's see. September 2013 to September 2014. Game's been out for a year and October, November, December, January, February. 5 months, almost a year and a half. Hasn't even shipped for the PC yet. 45 million units. That is goddamn incredible.
Yeah, that is and worth it. They deserve it. It's a great game.
Yep. You know what? I love the fact that we still have companies like Rockstar that are able to put out a game like GTA 5, make it worth the wait, and then get rewarded for doing that, right? Like, get the benefits, get enough money that they can spend 4 or 5 years developing the next Rockstar game with no sweat, just no sweat at all, right? Also, I wish I had $2.7 billion.
That's a lot. It's a little bit of scratch right there. That's that's more than I really make. Want. That's more than I make in like a year.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, you telling me that you haven't jumped up 16 tax brackets with all your sick ass Hollywood money?
Oh, don't even get me started.
All right. Well, we got one more story here. I saved it for last, and unfortunately, this story is a little bit of a downer. I'm not really super familiar with a lot of the guy's work, but Monty Ohm, the animator over at Rooster Teeth, passed away last week.
Yeah.
He was 33, and apparently he had an allergic reaction during a medical procedure, and he hung on for a little while, and then he passed away. I don't really know much about the guy. Like, I've never seen an interview or anything with him, but what I can say is that in the short time that I had seen his work out on the internet, it was all fantastic. Like, one of the best virtual fight choreographers I've ever seen. I don't know how much you've watched Red vs. Blue. Did you ever see any of his stuff there?
I have seen some of his stuff. I remember vividly the reel that he put out there that got him hired at Rooster Teeth, and it was phenomenal. I mean, it went viral immediately, and deservedly so.
Yeah, I mean, well, he did what he did. One of the first videos I think I saw him do was a Samus versus Master Chief fight.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, and then so what was interesting is that Red versus Blue, for everybody knows that. I don't have to explain it, right? It was just talky, Halo heads, right?
Yeah.
This guy do a thing. They had a little bit of action. The guy would jump in a warthog and drive away. But then there was the season after they brought him on, and like 3 times during that season, suddenly that shit just went like, oh my fucking God, what the hell? Because suddenly it turned from just like, oh, here's some capture footage from Halo to like, the best fight scene I've ever seen in my entire life, including movies.
Wow.
Right? Like, I mean, I don't know. They were so dynamic and they were so well put together. Dude, his talent was talented as hell. Like I said, I've never met him personally, but it's it's a shame. It's shitty, and so
yeah, it's. I'm just thinking, wow, okay, now I have to go back and just watch all of his stuff because that's really high praise. But everybody else said the same thing, that he was extraordinarily talented. I didn't know the guy. I think maybe I met him once or twice. Allison met him a couple of times, and of course he was friends with the Ramseys. And everybody's really distraught about this. And I mean, I didn't know him, but I have a lot of friends who knew him well, and they're all very rightfully upset about this. So, our thoughts and condolences with his family and friends.
Yep. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. When we come back, though, we have questions. It's time. Jason, it's been too long since you've dispensed the wisdom. So
it's building up within me, within my loins.
Is that wisdom, or are you watching the Daredevil trailer again?
That's what it is. Sorry.
All right, folks. We're going to take a break. We'll be back momentarily. And we're back. And Jason, are you ready? Do you have your wisdom is just all the way up there, right?
Am I ready? Are they ready?
Are they ready?
Are you ready?
Are you people ready?
Are you ready for my wisdom?
You know, if you're listening to this in your car, you might want to pull over for 45 minutes while Jason is answering, because we can't be held responsible for what happens when you hear the just mind-blowing answers to these questions. And if you guys would like to send questions, you can send them to mail@rageselect.com. It is mail@rageselect.com. It has been almost 2 years. Still, they don't always come into this. But you know what? We've been getting a lot of questions recently, and I don't know if you ever feel this. I bring this up every once in a while, Jason. But you and I have been answering questions on the internet for a while now.
Yeah.
Kind of figured that we'd be at the point where people don't have any more questions, but nope. I do 3 hours of Q&A every Sunday on the stream with Kayla, and they still...
Everyone should always have questions.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's just, it's part of being a good human. Always have questions.
See, I think they're just asking the right questions, because somewhere somebody is building that Black Mirror AI of me, right? And they keep asking questions in order to have the most answers, so they could just make a version of me that's then one day going to show up to my door and just Terminator Robert Patrick the shit out of me. Just, I'm going to be drinking out of a milk carton, and then bam, right there.
I'll know.
So you'll know.
I'll know.
All right, well, our first question comes in from Tom. That was awkward. First question comes in from Tom, and Tom says, this is a very, very verbose question. All right, just to warn everybody here.
Right.
Dear sirs of the rage variety, over the course of these modern times, it cannot be denied that rebooting a gaming franchise is an act not unlike that of exposing one's genitalia to a pack of hungry dogs, then having the delightful job of coming up with a compelling argument as to why they should not go ahead and chow down on them. Some are victorious and declared heroes for saving a franchise, while the rest can only look up in envy as their third-rate dongs are made first-rate second courses by the foaming mouths of angry fans. An uninspired reboot is a far toxic creature than that of the siren of the uninspired sequel, like the sinful, dreaded Bomberman Zero. Now, in front of the almighty Dong Lord, I say unto thee, good sirs, if by some unknown force you are given the keys to any gaming franchise that in your minds needs a good rebooting up the backside, how would you handle the task? What would you change gameplay-wise, genre-wise, and artistically? A classy reboot worthy of Damocles himself is needed in this world. And remember, when you're standing looking death in the eye, you're back to the wall with pillars of heaven exposed and fires of hell rising. Always stay classy. Your faithful servant from across the pond, Tom. P.S. All praise the Dong Lord and all his loincloth children, so on and so forth, etc. Wait, he's from Britain? I got to start this question over. I'm going to read it in a fake British accent.
No.
Dear sirs of a rage variety. No, okay, that's more Australian.
Exposing your balls.
So that's a pretty decent question, right? If you were given the keys, okay, so I guess the first question would be, if you were given the keys to any franchise to reboot it, what franchise would you choose? What do you think, Jason? You got anything in mind?
I don't know. I'm turning this one over in my head.
I think I got one. I think I want to reboot Castlevania.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, good one. Right.
I want to reboot Castlevania, and what I'd like to do with Castlevania, I don't know if this really counts as a reboot, is I want to make Castlevania back into a Metroidvania game and stop with all this God of War third-person bullshit. But John and I played a game that came out on the Super Awesome Video Game Show this week called Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if you remember this from the PlayStation experience thing that they did.
No.
It was like
maybe.
Like an RPG with like a plague doctor guy that looks like the art by like Mike Mignola from Hellboy.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think I'd like to see a reboot to Castlevania that was where somebody that had a real good handle on horror, right? Not the traditional tropes that are in Castlevania of like, what is a man? A miserable pile of secret. Not that bullshit, right? But like, what if you had a reboot of Castlevania that was maybe not in the same time period, but you still got the whip and you still got some RPG elements, but like you're fighting Cthulhu and like maybe some other stuff, like make the zombies more interesting. Like you could definitely take the traditional Metroidvania 2D action and then update it, use some of the stuff that we've got out there and just make a game that was a lot darker and a lot more a little bit more serious maybe. That's I think what I would like to see, because I never even beat Lords of Shadow 2 because I don't know, man. It just doesn't it doesn't grab me, the whole Lords of Shadow franchise.
Yeah,
it just seems,
the whole thing. You're absolutely right. That's one that's completely gone off the rails and is due for just a complete re-injection, kind of like the Tomb Raider revamp. And I know that wasn't totally a huge success, but I thought it was a great game. I thought it was a lot of fun. And you've got, with Castlevania, you have the ability to build up a very compelling world. Make it horror, build a story, expand on that story. It's a lot. There's a lot of it there to be fascinated by, but it's kind of muddled, and they jumped around. They weren't really thinking, "Hey, we're telling one big story here," which I think that's what a lot of people expect now. Castlevania is a great answer, and it's kind of similar to, in some respects, Metroid.
Yeah, I was thinking of that as well. I'd really like to see Metroid. I really think that Metroid, like if you took Metroid and you made it, I don't know. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about? What would you do to a Metroid reboot?
Oh yeah, you go back to the Metroidvania style of gaming. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons that made those great. But I think there's probably some new twists that you can put on that. And really learn from some of those great Castlevania games that came out on like the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, you know what I would do if I was going to reboot Metroid? I think one of the first things that I would tell all the people that were doing the reboot is like, you can't have the same weapons that we've been having in the fucking Metroid games forever. Like no Varia, no screw attack, no ice beam, no wave beam, no missiles. Find a different way to just remix those up. Like I remember in Metroid Fusion, I think you got like ice missiles, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah. That's something different,
Well, I think you got to have the originals in there, but don't just stick with that.
Yeah. I think a lot. You know what? In fact, now that we're kind of down this road, weird. I always think of Castlevania as a Nintendo property, even though it isn't anymore. But I think there's a lot of Nintendo properties, and I think that a lot of it comes because I keep seeing Nintendo do the same thing over and over again. I'd love to see Zelda rebooted. When I was watching Legend of Korra, right? Have you seen the original Avatar show?
It's fantastic.
Okay. So you know how the original Avatar show is very like medieval, right?
Yeah.
They live in villages. Okay, well in Korra, the world has been pushed forward. So they've got like cars and airplanes, like steam power and stuff like that, and radio and stuff like that. I would love to see the Zelda franchise pushed out of the medieval place that it's been for a long time with the horses and bows and Link running around. Make that shit a little bit more modern, right?
Interesting. That would ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, the master pistol, the master Uzi. Link has to pull the master Uzi out, and that's also
piss some people off.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, but I mean, any of this is going to piss people off. Me saying that I don't necessarily like the Castlevania Lords of Shadow franchise does piss people off just all on its own. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to reboot anything in gaming, you're going to piss off a lot of people. So, you might as well just get used to that from the beginning. I think that also Resident Evil could really use a good rebooting. I think I've said that before.
Oh, yep. Yeah, it has definitely strayed from its roots.
It's gotten so convoluted that they could do better just to simplify that shit, put it back to the beginning, and then you know what? And then do the smart thing. This is what I think reboots need to do. Is you remember when they released the one that they actually used as the base for the HD Resident Evil was the GameCube one, right? And they would do stuff like where the dogs jump through the windows, they would change that shit to a different place so that you're so familiar with Resident Evil and you're like, oh, fuck, here comes the dogs. And you go, oh, they're not there. And then like the third time you walk past those windows, bam, there's those dogs. You're like, whoa. And I think that you could really do a lot of interesting things with a reboot if you do reboot it, but then you say that you play on the expectations of people that are fans of that franchise and use that against them to surprise them in brand new ways. I think that's, to me, what's really important, but I don't know. They got that Devil May Cry DMC reboot remaster is coming out pretty soon, and I can only expect another round of
wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Bitter complaining.
Like someone came into your house and shaved your mother's face off and stitched a pig face onto it. It's like that's how people act.
Yep. All right, our next question comes in from actually, before we move on, did you have any other things that you could think of?
No, those are the big ones. In fact, I don't think that's not even just the ones that I would like to see. Those are the ones that need to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know if it... could you say that you wanted to reboot Final Fantasy? That none of them are... They're not sequels. They're not connected, so I don't think that really works. I could kind of, though, go for a Final Fantasy game where they took out... You know, every Final Fantasy game has to have this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. And I could go for a Final Fantasy game where they just took all that shit out and we're like, nope, let's try something new.
Or make one that played more like some of the early entries.
Yeah. Any franchise out there that has been doing the same thing over and over again, I'd like to see it rebooted and do something different, you know. I think John and I just got finished doing Dead Space. That's a fairly modern game, right? But I could see doing Dead Space. Hell, man, I could see doing a Metal Gear reboot, even though I'd be the one at that point on the message board. Like, I can't believe you're killing my childhood. You're destroying everything. All right, so next one comes in from Jeremy. Jeremy says, my wife and I, this past week, picked up the Fight Club Blu-ray at Target. We know it is a cult classic, and neither of us had seen it before, so we took it home to watch it after dinner. Both of us hated it. Does this make us bad people?
What?
We just found it long and boring and weird. Any thoughts? Has this happened to you? Thanks, and continue the rage, Jeremy. And I picked this one out specifically for you, Jason. So, does this make us bad people?
No, it just makes you. You're probably the people that they're complaining about. Actually, you were the all singing, all dancing crap of the world, Jeremy. That movie has a lot to say, but I haven't watched it in a long time. So maybe it really kind of spoke to men specifically of our age. Although I don't know how old Jeremy is. But if you're a 30-something male, when Fight Club came out, it was just incendiary. It was, oh my God, it was 15 years ago.
I guess it's. I wonder if because so much of like the virtual and the cinematography in that movie is so experimental, right? If that could turn somebody off, where you're just like, why the fuck are we flying through this trash can? And who are the Dust Brothers again? I don't know who they are.
Right. I don't know how well it holds up, and plus, it was one that kind of struck a personal chord with me. Mm-hmm. I know it's Brushwood's like favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I saw it, it was like, it had a huge impact on me. I was just like, holy shit. You know? It was kind of one of those things. Maybe it's different now in an age of social media when you've got so many more examples. But like when Fight Club came out, it's like Fight Club was saying something to me that I didn't even know that I wanted to say. It was like expressing a feeling that I had, but wasn't really aware that I had about this whole dissatisfaction with kind of corporate consumer culture, that it hadn't been put exactly like that before. and the idea that that had been drilled into your head forever about fighting is bad and don't do it and be afraid of it, and suddenly you've got this kind of really slick, really well written movie with this crazy soundtrack about these people doing this stuff. And it was just like, I mean, when I got to the end, I wanted to be in Project Mayhem. Yeah. I was like, hell yeah.
I think a lot of the messages and the styles in which they were delivered have been recycled and repurposed and reused by various other films and other, internet articles and so forth since then. So I think that mentality, that Fight Club, the message that they were trying to get out is kind of out there now. I don't know that it's prevalent or that a lot of people adhere to that ethos, but I think now it's not something. It blindsided us when it first came out, And
I really think that it's worth. I really think that it's worth just reinforcing the fact that this is 99, right? So there was an internet in 99, but it definitely wasn't nowhere near what we're talking about now.
Right.
No smartphones, no real social media, to at least not as widely spread and not as integrated into everybody's lives as it is now. So what you end up with is that we were kind of living in this weird monoculture, right? Where you just picked the TV channel that was least offensive to you. But I was just thinking about Fight Club, and I was thinking about how, that scene where he's kind of snidely talking about where it's showing his apartment filling up with all of the IKEA furniture, right? And it was just this just flipping the middle finger to what was at that point in the 90s kind of the height of this consumer culture, weird golden age of consumer culture type of thing, in a way that if you were disaffected, so let's see, at that point I would have been right around 21, right around 2021, was perfect for that particular time period in my life. In fact, after Fight Club, me and my friend went out in the backyard and fought each other a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, it was a movie about rebellion, and
right.
It was definitely against consumer culture, and it was really just kind of that lingering question for a lot of people who, had just gotten out of college or whatever, or maybe just out of high school, and then you realize, oh, wait, why is everyone telling me, well, this is what you're supposed to do?
Right. I mean, they even directly addressed that in the one where they're having the conversation about, and then I graduated college, and I called my dad, and I said, what now? And he's like, I don't know, get married. That whole, there's so many of those little vignettes in there that were just spoke so much to me as a 20-year-old. I can't tell. See, I don't know anything about 20-year-olds these days. I can't tell what, they might as well be another species because I don't know the brain set that they're in right now, but at the time, that shit was just incredible. Also, I'll be straight up super honest with you. Some people get up all in there, I'm super smart high horse, and this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen Fight Club, but I don't believe that they went through that entire movie without ever addressing Edward Norton's character by a name. And when they came to that twist part, and you realized that his character was never actually addressed as a specific person, it was just like, how the fuck did I miss that
right?
the entire movie? Also, I wanted to dress exactly like Tyler Durden, so there's that too.
I can see that with the Michael Jackson-esque red Thriller era jacket.
Yeah, but you just can't. I couldn't. I way too much. You gotta be built like Brad Pitt to dress like Tyler Durden, or it doesn't work. All right, our next question comes in from Natasha. Natasha says, Dear Jeff and Jason, I'm ashamed to say I came upon Rage Select when I saw your video on the Duck Dynasty game in my YouTube sidebar. I was hoping it would turn into a Deliverance-style game where you have to utilize your newly learned duck hunting and squirrel slaying skills to survive the swampy wilderness and escape the bearded rednecks out for your butthole. Turns out the game was a piece of shit, but at least I found you guys, and I've enjoyed everything I have seen since then. But with all that in mind, the question I ask you is, what would be the absolute worst property to adapt into a video game? And while keeping the original premise intact, what changes would you make to it to turn it around and make it Game of the Year material? Hope to see some more from you guys, Natasha.
Oh, that's a tough one. So it's like, what's the impossible adaptation, and how would you do it?
What's the worst property to make it to a video game, and then how would you actually make that a fun game?
Okay. Let's see.
Dancer in the Dark.
The Bjork thing?
Yeah. No, I've never seen that movie because I know how depressing it is. Let's see. Probably what Black Swan. That's
Yeah. What? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a Black Swan's a good one. I don't know, some book or movie that. Yeah, man. I don't know. Let's All in the Family. Yeah, the Archie Bunker TV show from the 70s. Actually, yeah. Let's go with that one.
And then
let's just go with it.
You got a racist meter that you have to keep up, or else Archie's power goes down and he dies off. So you just have to keep like spamming on the button to say kind of racist stuff from time to time.
And if you unlock once you keep your racist meter so high, well, then you trigger a race war.
Is that when you go to the multiplayer segment that is what the Jeffersons versus was that they took place in the same universe, right?
Yeah, the Jeffersons. Yeah. Oh, like a fighting game, or some sort of game where it's like the Jeffersons. Weren't they in the same apartment complex or something like that? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so, because the Jeffersons were moving on up. They were in the
deluxe apartment on the East Side. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, you trigger the race war and you lose because you're a racist asshole.
Right. I can imagine the cutscene in this game where you get your race meter super high, and then like some kind of dramatic Commander Shepard, George Jefferson just kicks in the front door, and suddenly it turns into like Tekken.
No, dude, it's Loco Steve.
Is it Loco? Oh, ding dong.
I don't like racism, honkies.
I don't know. You could almost make a case for just about any movie that's a drama. Actually, you could kind of make a case by just saying, what's the worst property to adapt it to a video game? Pick any movie. Any movie is probably the worst thing to adapt it to a video game. Beaches. Beaches? Is that what we're talking about? No, we already did that.
No, that's Mario Party, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Driving Miss Daisy. Driving Miss Daisy. That's the worst thing to adapt to a video game.
But then it turns into Burnout.
Right, but then eventually it becomes Morgan Freeman's character finally snaps, and then it becomes like those missions in was it either Saints Row or GTA where you like had the person hostage in your car and you had to drive with them for as long as you could. You kept getting money. You called up their family and demanded money to let them out of the car. Yes, perfect. All right. Next one comes in from Tony. Tony says, "Dear Selectors of Rage, I'm 34 years old and I just got my first tattoo. Tattoos, plural. The Batman symbol from Hush on my wrist and the rose from Beauty and the Beast on my ring finger for my wife and daughters. I didn't believe it when I heard tattoos were addicting, but I'm already planning on more geek-related tattoos. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on tattoos? What are the best or worst geek tattoos you've ever seen? Thanks for reading. I can't wait to see all the exclusive videos as a brand new Patreon subscriber. Sincerely, Tony." Thank you, Tony, for becoming a Patreon subscriber.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any tattoos, Jason?
No, I don't. I thought about it. I thought about it for a long time. Around like high school and college and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's like I've said before. If I had gotten like a tattoo around the time I really wanted a tattoo, right now I would be getting a Quantum Leap tattoo lasered off of my arm.
Right.
It's the tattoo that I would want when I was 20 is not the tattoo that I want now. So I'm just kind of glad I didn't get any. And now I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't need any tattoos. That's good. I'm good.
I think that, let's see. Well, have you seen any good video game tattoos?
Yeah, like a friend of mine has just a real simple tattoo of one of the Mario stars on it. Mm-hmm. One of the little smiling Mario stars.
I had a friend who actually on her shoulder blades she had Mario and Luigi in the Mario 3 raccoon suits flying, just one on each flying off. And
I've seen some good video game tattoos. A lot of them are like, I've seen Mario mushrooms and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I was at the bar with Tony the other night, and the bartender, she had what was very clearly the Zelda tattoo, the Zelda hearts over her own heart. And I was like, is that a Zelda thing? She kind of rolled her eyes. She was like, no, but I get asked that all the time. Is that a video game? And I'm just like, fuck you, bring me another beer. Just shut up and bring me a beer. Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you make that mistake? How did you get a pixelated heart tattooed over your heart and not realize that that's probably going to be something, right? Like,
right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but as far as like bad video game tattoos, I just Googled it, and I'm looking at them right now, and my God, they're horrible.
Holy shit. I just found one that's like a cheesy pinup of Shepard from like with the N7 armor, but it's got a big chunks of it cut out, so they've got like the boob window, and then like you can see her abs, and it's weird like a that is terrible. Yeah. So far, I think the best ones that I've seen is there's one that's the thing that the guy has on his hand in Dishonored.
Oh yeah.
And then I've always wanted to get the in fact, if I ever got a video game tattoo, it would be the chains that the guy has on his wrists in BioShock. It's a real subtle thing, and it's the sort of thing that you can cover up fairly easily. Oh my God!
Yeah, there's some horrible ones. If you just Google bad video game tattoos, oh my God.
Yeah, I see. That's the problem, is that like I can't get over the fear that I'm going to get a tattoo, and then like just a year later, I'm going to be like, oh my God, what was the fucking thing? What was that fucking thing? What was I thinking? Getting Hideo Kojima's face tattooed in the middle of my chest?
Yeah, here's one with this dude. He's shaved the side of his head, and he's got Ryu giving a Hadouken tattooed into the side of his fucking head.
On the side of his head. Wow. Okay. I mean, I honestly don't have anything. Wow. I just found one that's like lower back tattoo of like a black and white Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, like on a battlefield with helicopters, and just it's so detailed.
Is that Cliff Bleszinski? Like, is he the one that has it?
Oh God, I hope so. I don't know. If I was going to get a video game tattoo, I'd probably look for something like either the chains, or like the Dishonored thing, or something from a game. Like if you're going to get like a Zelda one, getting like just a Triforce, right? Just a little Triforce.
I've seen that one a lot.
Somewhere.
The Triforce and the Hyrule Seal or whatever. Yeah, that's a popular one, and that's pretty cool. That's a good one.
Holy God, I just saw one. I'm actually looking on Games Radar at one that's 100 best video game tattoos, and this one guy got Shigeru Miyamoto to sign his arm, and then went and got that tattooed on his arm. That's pretty cool. Except now you're Shigeru Miyamoto's bitch.
He owns you.
Like. Yeah, he could say whatever. He can make you do whatever he wants to. All right, well, that's enough. There's 55 more of these. I'm going to stop looking at them. But next up, this one comes in from Don, and Don says, "Hi, Jeff and Jason. I've always heard everyone say how bad Uwe Boll's movies are, and I've managed to avoid all of them. Recently, I've taken a liking to bad movies, and I would like you guys to recommend to me and my friends a couple of his worst to get wasted and make fun of. Thanks, Don from Richmond Hill, New York."
I've only seen a couple, and I, too, avoid them.
Which ones have you seen?
I've seen Alone in the Dark. I've seen one of them that was, I don't know, based on the guy who just goes around just killing people for no damn reason.
Postal?
I think it was Postal. Yeah, I think it was Postal.
Is it the one that has David Spade in it? Dave Foley. Dave Foley. Yeah.
Saw that one.
And Jake, how bad is that one? How bad is Postal?
Bad. It was just a total male adolescent power fantasy. It was ridiculous.
Okay.
And In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege movie.
That's the one that I've seen. I think that movie is awesome if you're looking for something to get drunk and make fun of, because it's so fucking ridiculous.
You need to watch that one. Oh, God.
It's got Jason Statham, Ron Perlman, Claire Forlani. Why do people put Claire Forlani in anything? But the best thing is it's got Ray Liotta as
an evil wizard.
He's just coked up fat Ray Liotta playing coked up fat wizard.
I know,
right?
it's glorious.
And Burt Reynolds also. Yeah, In the Name of the King is fantastic. It's
Burt Reynolds
so shitty
is the titular king.
Yep, he is. And how? I mean, like I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to continue to see Uwe Boll. I mean, I'm glad that he's not essentially screwing video game movie franchises to the point where nobody cares about them anymore. On the other hand, there's a part of me that has this strange fascination with seeing just how far he could go, because he was obviously getting enough money to hire a bunch of people who all know better. Jason Statham, you know better, Jason Statham. Ray Liotta doesn't know better, but that's fine. But I kind of wanted to see how far he could go. Like, if he was to keep making video game movies, would we get the one that had, like, the Biebs and Miley Cyrus when they're both, like, out of Coke money and they need to get, like, Lindsay Lohan, Justin Bieber, and Miley Cyrus in Metroid, right? Like, something really high profile, and they just fuck it all up to the point where we all just cry.
I would love to see that. I don't know. It's been a while since we had a good train wreck video game movie, so let's have it.
What was the last video game movie that came out? Movies based on video games. Wikipedia, help me. List of films based on video games. And let's see, sort by release date. Heavenly Sword direct-to-DVD last year. Should think Need for Speed with Aaron Paul.
I didn't see that.
Neither did I, because why the fuck would you?
Right. Well, Aaron Paul.
Yep, that was the last one. Yeah, but okay, listen, man, I like Aaron Paul and everything, but Jesse Pinkman is not exactly the single most nuanced character in the world. I'm not just going like, Aaron Paul is not the Daniel Day-Lewis of our time.
He might be.
With his.
We don't know. We've only seen him play Pinkman.
Have you ever seen early Daniel Day-Lewis? He said bitch a lot, is all I'm saying. But next year, that new, apparently, according to Wikipedia, next year that Hitman, the new Hitman franchise movie should be coming out.
Oh, yeah. Who's playing him now?
Rupert Friend.
I have no idea who that is.
He was in Meet Me in Montenegro and The Zero Theorem and Steve.
Steve. I saw Zero Theorem.
Okay, he was in there. He was Man in Street commercial in The Zero Theorem.
I just Googled a picture of him. No idea who that is.
Yep.
He looks awfully dainty and frail to be playing the titular Agent 47.
Hey, man, let us not forget that before he was the Star-Lord, Chris Pratt was the dumpy boyfriend on Parks and Recreation.
Yep,
so,
that's true. That's true.
You get on that Chris Nolan diet, and they make you eat all the. No, wait, it was the Hugh Jackman diet, right? Where he's got to eat like 6 chickens a day or something.
Yeah.
And then you get all buff for Wolverine. But that Ratchet & Clank movie, remember we saw the trailer for it? Should be coming out next year as well. So, but that actually looks good. All right. Next one comes in from, let's see, Matt. Matt says, hello, Jeff and Jason. My question is about relationships. I currently started dating this girl from my work, and we're hitting it off well. My question is, when in a relationship should one say I love you, and who should say it first? We've been dating for a month, plus any tips from the master of the dong will be of help. Thanks for answering my question. Matt, a.k.a. One Fun Run on the site. P.S. What does Dongacles do for fun in his free time? I don't know. Administer the dong justice.
Presses his balls up against cathedral windows.
Is that what it is? He's just given the well, what do you even call that? It's not a pressed ham. I don't know what the correct term for pushing your balls up against something is.
It's called the Dongacles Delight.
The Dongacles Delight? The double D? I'm going to leave this one in your court, Jason. I'm not real good at the lady stuff. When do you say I love you?
Only when you're about to be frozen in carbonite or on your deathbed.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't you fucking say it first, Matt. Don't you fucking do it.
Okay, well, hey, if she says it, then does he say it back?
Yeah, then if you don't, you're in trouble. But a way to tell a girl that you love her without actually saying the words, and you should preferably do this at your place of employment where you met this girl.
Right.
Just put your finger right in her butt. And make sure there's eye contact. You got to maintain eye contact.
Do not break eye contact no matter what you do. No matter what you do.
And then when she'll calm down after a second, like she'll look at you, and whatever finger you hit, just one. Don't go crazy. Don't be weird about it.
Right. Yeah, don't make it weird when you put your finger in the butt. Yeah, don't make it weird.
eye contact, and then you just nod. And then you can go about your business.
And she'll know. She'll know what that means.
But don't fucking tell her.
What about playing Billy Joel songs on a boombox outside
Then
her
you should
window?
just kill yourself. You should just fucking kill you. Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Are you saying that John Cusack should kill himself? Is that what I'm
saying? That might have worked back in like 84 or whatever. This is 2015, and women are more sophisticated now. They don't like romantic gestures like that.
Send her an Instagram of your balls, and she'll know what that means. She'll know exactly what that means. All right. Well, next up, this one's from Pedro. He says, "Hello, Jeff and Jason. This is Pedro, once again writing from the frozen tundra planet of Chicago for a question to our rulers in the warm planet of Austin. Not warm today.
It's a little chilly
cold today. My question is about how you see a certain game versus how other people talk about it. Has there ever been a game in which your friends or just the general public thought of as bad or disappointing, but you actually thought was pretty good? Personally, I thought BioShock 2 was a great game. While it was not as great as the first BioShock, it was still a worthy sequel that gave us more rapture, more plasmids, more splicers, and a heartwarming or heartbreaking tale, depending on how you played the game. Thank you so much for answering my question. Enjoy your warm weather, you big lords of the..." And then it just says, insert dick joke here. Come on, man. P.S. Will we ever see another Sparkle Fandango episode? We miss you, lovely alien ladies. I don't know. Maybe. We've been talking a little bit about that. Who could say? But this is a question. This is one of our. I feel like this is one of our classic questions, right? Games that everybody hated that you liked. What do you think, Jason?
I'm trying to think of one where everybody hated it, and I just really enjoyed it, and nothing's coming to mind right now. There's bound to be something. It was probably one from like a long time ago, like back in the 8-bit days or something like that. I think there's probably one there that I just really connected with that everybody else hated, but I can't think of one. I can think of some that everybody else loved that I didn't like, but I can't think of one that everybody hated that I liked. Nothing's coming to me right now.
I would say, BioShock 2 is a good answer. I could definitely say that I know that it's not a quotey fingers. Everybody hated it, but again, I don't mean this to keep coming back up again. But I just didn't think about it when I was reading this question. But I thought that DMC game was fine.
Oh yeah. Right? Yeah.
Some of the people who played it, who are big hardcore Devil May Cry fans, God, they really hated it. But I thought it was fine. I didn't have that much of a problem with it. Also, it's funny. There was a lot of people, or I didn't really I didn't really see very many articles or much of this going on. But last year's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I thought that was a fun game. It was more Call of Duty, but it wasn't like offensively bad or anything. It wasn't as bad as Ghost, to be certain. I've also been, I think that you come to a lot of the Final Fantasy and JRPG stuff you can definitely find. Like when we played Kingdom Hearts 2 HD, Grant and I, for the dojo, and oh my God, well, Grant hated that game. And I'm like, well, I kind of understand what's going on here, and I have a bit of a soft spot for JRPGs. But in the comments, basically, war was declared between the people who are like, this game is the worst thing that's ever happened of all time, and not. I can think of games that I played that nobody knows about. Like Terra Nova Strike Force Centauri. I've never met other people who played that game. An old PC game by Looking Glass Studios. You remember those guys, right?
Looking Glass, yeah, of course. Yeah, they did they did System Shock.
System Shock, yeah. That was a squad-based mech combat kind of thing that I don't know anybody played. I talk about it from time to time. Hostile Waters and Teus Rising was this kind of real-time strategy game that I thought was Warren Ellis wrote the plot to.
Right.
That hardly anybody that I've known has ever played in their entire lives. Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else that I liked that everybody else just really, really didn't like. Yeah, I'm more on your side with the whole everybody liked that, but then I didn't. I'm looking through a list here trying to jog my memory. I tell you, I saw a lot of bad feelings when the second Assassin's Creed game came out, Assassin's Creed Revelations. I know there were a lot of people who were just like, nope, shut it down. That's too much. That one's garbage. I don't think it was that bad. I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty good, actually.
It was all right.
But yep, I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to call that what I got. All right. Got a couple more here. Next one comes in from our friend Jujitsu, who says, "Hello, Ragecasters. When the Avengers 2 plot got revealed, I've noticed a trend in the vast majority of Avengers-centered Marvel movies where the major threat to the protagonist is either robots or aliens. I think the studios do this just to get a PG-13 rating because causing great pain/damage to robots/aliens gives them much more leeway to do so than with human antagonists. I also personally think that human antagonists are much more interesting, but that's just me. Do you think making generic robots and aliens as threats is lazy writing? And do you want to see more Marvel movies take risks with legitimate human threats like Captain America did with the, and he uses quotey fingers here, Nazis?" Jujitsu.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, really we see more of that in video games than we do in movies. You see a lot of relying on aliens or robots or the ever-present Nazis. And yeah, you do...
Or, more so these days, zombies.
Or zombies, right. And yeah, it's because you've removed them from humanity, and you're not. I think you hit the nail on the head that you're not exhibiting any sort of violence towards them. But it's also very cowardly filmmaking. It's very cowardly video game making. I if you're just playing it safe, then you're not taking any risk. Then you're not doing anything new. I think we need some media in everything that just is risky and just says, yeah, we spent $20 million on this, and it's about, it's about some sort of, like Fight Club, it's about topics that you never heard of before, and it really caters to a certain niche audience, rather than let's just make everybody happy and water it down, and then let's have some soy patty delivered to the people. Let's mix it up a bit. Now with the Avengers, well, yeah, they put robots in there because Ultron's one of their best villains. But also it was probably easier for them to do that because of that they weren't humans, and so they can have like really amped up violence against these antagonists.
I'm thinking back, and I don't know that I agree with the stipulation that he's making. In Guardians of the Galaxy, the main enemies were they were the soldiers of Ronan, right? Those dudes had, a lot of them were just masked guys, right? But they weren't robots. I guess they were aliens, right? But
they were aliens. To us.
But everybody in that movie was an alien except for Star-Lord, right? They were all aliens. So I feel like you don't really, technically the people on the Nova planet, right? I forget what they called them in the movie, whatever their race was.
The
right?
Nova Corps, yeah, whatever.
No, yeah. But whatever they were called, right? The people.
Right.
I don't think they really. See, those were aliens, but they looked like people, right? So the guy, think of in the Guardians of the Galaxy when Drax is fighting the I don't know his name, the character's name, the African American guy who has the robot stuff in his head that catches up with Quill at the very beginning of the movie. And
yeah.
He just straight up rips that guy's robot brain out, leaves him seizing on the ground.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
And I think to Captain America: Winter Soldier, most of the violence there was, you had those mercenary guys. They didn't shy away from. I don't think they went out of their way to show killing them necessarily, but they weren't aliens. And then you think back to Thor. I guess there were dark elves, but they weren't. I don't know. Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much of a. I don't think it's as much of a problem as he's presenting.
Yeah.
But I think that decision has been made before in bigger movies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember specific ones, but I know it's been made before in bigger movies to make the violence more digestible.
Well, to be honest, to me it just depends on the sort of movie that you're making, right? I don't need every movie where people are... Well, in video games, just going back to what I was talking about, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, all the Call of Duty games, you're not shooting aliens or, zombies in some of them, right? But, in the main story campaign, you're fucking just murdering the shit out of, tons of people.
No Russian.
No, yeah. Grant, I just got finished playing Uncharted. You kill lots of people in Uncharted. You just straight up shoot a whole bunch of people in Uncharted.
That's a good point, yeah.
I think for me, as long as it makes sense to the tone. Here's the thing. I don't, when when Drax pulls the shit out of that guy's head in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? I don't need 5 minutes of him twitching and then dying and then coughing up blood and then his death rattle on the ground
Right.
for it to have an impact with the tone of the particular movie. I get more pissed off when they do shit like they did in the theatrical cut of the Wolverine, where they cut around the violence to the point where it becomes super
neutered.
sanitized. Yeah. Because I feel like having a little bit of blood guts is important, because when you're young and you're watching an action movie, it's good for the movie to reinforce the idea that when you shoot somebody, blood comes out of them, right? That it's not a completely sanitized act to the point where, you know, all the violence happens off screen, so that when you're developing your concepts of what violence actually means, you're never actually faced with what that is.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a problem. I think that I don't necessarily think that. I mean, I guess being in the video game world, we've been seeing the tons of enemies be aliens or robots or whatever for a long time, because it takes a lot more writing to make a video game where you've got thousands of humans for your character to shoot in the face than it does, oh, it's a robot invasion, blow up all these robots, right?
Yeah, it's that's a good point. It's got to make sense, you know. It's like, how are you going to have invading hordes without, you know, completely changing the layout of your environment, you know?
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of see where he's coming from. I think it's, when I look over the list of the Marvel movies, I think it's a little bit less prevalent than he's making out. I mean, Iron Man, all the Phase 2 stuff, right? Iron Man 3, the bad guys were super soldiers, essentially, right? They were the crazy extremists, right? Thor had the Dark Elves, which were, I guess, technically aliens, but, you know, we knew that. Winter Soldier, paramilitary guys, Guardians had, Ronan and actual bad guys with faces and shit. So
yeah, it's pretty good diversity there.
Yeah. All right. A couple more and then we're out of here. Next one comes in from Clayton. Clayton says, Dear Jeff and Jason, whenever I go to video game sites, it is inevitable that I will come across multitudes of people saying that video game tie-in games suck and have always sucked. It got me thinking that this can't be true of all of them. I created a list that I still update of tie-in games that are actually good. Among these are the NES Batman game from the first Burton movie, the 2009 Ghostbusters game, and Telltale games, just to name a few. My question for you is, why do gamers continue to spout that tie-in games suck and flat-out ignore the titles that are actually good? Thank you for reading my question, and keep an ear open for the ever-ominous ding-dong from Clayton S. Jason, would you like to handle this? This is a pretty easy answer, right?
Most of them are dog shit.
Yep.
You know, in fact, they were such dog shit that most developers have started giving up. Notice there haven't been any Avengers games because they know that they're under a time crunch and that it'll suck when it comes out.
Yep.
So, yeah, there hasn't been any, Batman Begins or Dark Knight Rises because they just can't make it happen. But yeah, me and Jeff and Corey back on the loading bar spent an entire day playing Avengers games, and most of them were pretty crappy.
Yep.
It's rare that a tie-in to a movie has been released. Now, if you're doing an adaptation just like a Batman game, like from Arkham Asylum, that doesn't count because it's not tying into a movie. It's its own property and it's got its own development cycle. But if you've got something that's tying into a film, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be dog shit.
Yep. And actually, I don't know, I read it a while back, but you should go look up, there's a website, I'm sure most people already know this, called Gama Sutra, that does game kind of insider industry type of stuff. And they had a really interesting article a little while back that I read about licensed games. So they talked about licensed games. When you look at it, like, take the property out of the whole thing and say you can make a good game out of anything if you've got the whatever. But licensed games have two things that automatically hamstring them. First, they've got to be done by the time, either when the movie's out or before the movie's out or whatever. They have a limited amount of time, because if you make the game like Wanted, the game that comes out like a year and a half after the movie came out, nobody cares anymore. And then two, there's a huge amount of your budget that is sucked away by paying for the right to use that tie-in license. So you generally don't tend to have as much resource for creating a good game. And you also have a whole bunch of constraints that are going to be put down upon you from the people that own the property. Like if you decide that you want to make a Superman game to tie into the Dawn of Justice movie, like DC has a bunch of specific things that you can and can't do with Superman. Say, oh, I'm going to make a game where Superman loses all his powers and he's got to build his way back up from nothing, right? And then DC will come in and go, nope, sorry, Superman doesn't ever lose his powers. That's one of the things. You can't do that, right? So there's all these ways that you're being constricted in making one of those games. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not going to tell you there's never been a good one. I mean, we pointed to Chronicles of Riddick for a long time as probably the best tie-in to a movie that's ever been made.
But it wasn't an adaptation of any Riddick movie.
Well, no, it came out in conjunction with Chronicles of Riddick. It was,
yeah, that's kind of in a gray area, though. The Chronicles of Riddick game,
right? Escape from Butcher Bay,
which was not really based on anything that was in the Chronicles of Riddick, right?
No, it was exactly based on. It was how Riddick got captured. The story of Escape from Butcher Bay is great because
I played the first one. I didn't play this one, so.
No, there was the Assault on Dark Athena was the expansion, and that was kind of, I never really bothered with that. But the way that works was they put out Pitch Black, right? And then when they were making Chronicles of Riddick, they had Chronicles of Riddick, which came after Pitch Black. They had Assault on Dark Athena that was the anime that took place between those two movies, explaining how they got from one to the other. And then they had Escape from Butcher Bay, which was technically a prequel that showed how Riddick got on the ship that he was on at the beginning of Pitch Black. So they actually used,
I'm sorry, I was totally confused. Yeah.
That was one of the best case scenarios where they used all of this different multimedia tie-in shit to really enhance their story because they had an idea of where they wanted all this stuff to go. But for the most part, I mean, go. I mean, for the love of God, man, just go look at the Star Wars games for fuck's sake. There are so many bad Star Wars games out there.
Yeah, especially during like Phantom Menace and Shadow of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bombad Racing.
Yep. What was the one where it was like a Destruction Derby arena or something that they had?
Why? Masters of Terras
Obi-Wan. Star Wars Obi-Wan. But yeah, I mean, there's more often than not when you see one, and for our generation, for me, the people that you're reading, the answer to your question, Clayton, is because we've been burned infinity times before. Like, 9 times out of 10, and that's being generous, the licensed tie-in game is terrible. Terrible. All right. One more, and now we're done. And this is I like this question quite a bit. This one comes in from Henry, and Henry says, hey, guys, if Taco Bell were suddenly to disappear from existence, how would you exact your revenge, assuming that a single person or group of people were responsible? Personally, I would probably go the psychological torture route, or possibly with the hostile takeover of the United States to make sure I alone had the power to bring it back. Bow down and worship your new god and king, bitch. May you all have the fortune of beating Johnny Gat in hell, Henry. And he says, P.S., having recently done a little Let's Playing with some friends for my own amusement, I now have a whole new respect for how much work you guys put into the site.
Thank you.
Keep fighting the digital fight for your right to game and also to party. All right, so this is our last one. Jason, you want to give me your scenario? Taco Bell closed tomorrow because of take your pick. I don't, health.
Why is it happening? Who's behind this?
It's trans fats. Obama has done it to keep the kids from getting fat because they're eating too many bean burritos and they're all overweight and they've got the diabetes.
I would go underground. You can't retaliate against the president of the United States, and I won't even speak about that because jail, and that's a stupid thing to do. You don't do it.
Okay, how about let's pick somebody else. Donald Trump bought Taco Bell and shut it all down because he's stupid. And he's like,
you know what?
I don't like tacos.
That's I think a better thing to do would be to go underground and pass it around on the darknet, the recipes for it. Start operating guerrilla Taco Bell outlets. Maybe like in an old trailer park or Taco Bell speakeasies. The Taco Bell revolution will live on.
I like this idea because it goes back to our Aaron Paul thing of it's like, Jesse, we got to cook the Verde sauce for the Taco Bell.
That's right. And you pass it around like these tattered like an anarchist cookbook type thing, but full of all the recipes. It's like the missing quesarito page.
Hey, yo, man, I got Baja. You want some Baja? I got the fresh Baja over here.
I would hunt that shit down like it was the Holy Grail.
and then that just leads to the fast food wars of 2012 from Demolition Man.
That's right.
And then after that, every restaurant will be Taco Bell. So what I say is, let's do it. Let's get this show started. Close the Taco Bells, because Jason, you and I, we got a new profession just waiting to happen as advocates. Oh, or what if you made a church, right? And then the church was all based around Taco Bell, and you got like church status so that they couldn't shut you down. And
yeah.
You can't oppress my right.
Ask not for whom the Taco Bell tolls.
Oh, let's say Mas Grande be with you, and also with you.
And also with you.
That's right. All right, folks. And that is our show for the day. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Jason, thanks for coming on. Leave anything that you need to pimp out to the people. It's Sunday night.
Hey,
tell them about anything?
Yeah, Sunday night goes up Monday. One of the last 4 episodes of Hacking the System. You're probably sick of seeing me post about this on Twitter and Facebook, but yeah, we got 2 more. We're showing 2 on Monday, and then the next Monday, a single episode, then the Monday after that, the final episode.
Okay.
So check them out, please.
All right. And that's on, you want to tell them
National
where?
Geographic at 9 Central.
Okay.
It's also available on Google Play, Xbox Video, and iTunes.
Oh, really? Is that at the after it's aired on TV?
Yes.
They put it up on iTunes and stuff. How much are those a piece?
I don't know. I haven't even checked.
Damn it, man. Well, do you have did they give you free DVD box sets of that shit? We could give some away
that hasn't even been made yet. I don't even know if it will. So
I demand a DVD box set with some secret bonuses. That's what I demand.
Yeah, I was telling Brian, I was like, one day we're going to be looking at the discount section of half-price books, and there's going to be it's like $1 for the entire season.
Yeah. You'll be at Walmart on the way to the checkout, and right by Duck Dynasty Season 2 and Croc Hunter 6, it'll be like, hey! And then you can irritate people in line. You can be like, hey, man, that's me. Look at that. Check it out.
That's me.
Boom.
That's me right there. That's me.
All right. So check that out tomorrow. As far as the podcast goes, if you want to send us questions, send them to mail@rageselect.com. That is mail@rageselect.com. We just got done with the stream today. Tune in tomorrow for another dojo video. And I think that now I need to just go get some Taco Bell. I think you got to enjoy it while it lasts. It's not long for the world.
Time marches on for whom the bell tolls.